What's up, guys? It is Sunday, March 8th, 2026, MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, and my co-host, Mr. Big Marcel. We're going to recap UFC 326, and we'll talk about the UFC White House cards they announced last night as well. So, a lot to talk about here today, Marcel.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, man? The clock shifted for me, so it's 1:30 my time right now. We decided to do the card earlier, or the podcast early, by the way. But I think, what is your shift next week? Your time? Or
No, man, end of the month. So
end of the month, okay.
it's like 3 weeks in between. So yeah, I'm doing well, man. I mean, was going to bed really late last night. I think it was 9 a.m.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I woke up around 3:30 something, so I'm not that, I'm now like up for 3 hours or something, so yeah, let's be honest, card fucking sucked overall.
Horrible.
Yeah, I mean, there were maybe 2 or 3 fun fights on it, but overall it was just really bad.
It's so bad, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I said on Twitter, it's a rough card, and then people are like, dude, just say it's horrible, I was like, yeah, I mean, if I say it's a rough card, I mean, it's not good, you know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, the main card started at least a little bit fun,
Yeah.
But after the second fight, it was completely gone again. And, yeah, it was just over. And it was easy for the UFC to pick the bonuses, right? For the 4 performance bonuses. So, yeah, that was easy for them.
They saved a little bit of money, actually, because
yeah.
they didn't give a fight of the night, and then they didn't give out the 25K. I mean, I think if you get the 100K, you don't get the 25 on top, right?
No,
I would think.
No. Yeah.
So it was rough. It was a rough watch. And this year has been a rough year. So obviously, like you called Mr. Twitter Fingers, Marcel. That's my nickname now.
Just for fun, yeah.
Yeah. I was critical, but I mean, here's the thing. Like, I feel like a lot of media members are just scared to call them out. They don't want to lose access. I don't give a shit. Like, I go to one UFC card a year, basically, like one Canadian card a year. Marcel. So for me, it's like if they ever did, I'm not banned. They put my tweets on the thing, and they like me. When I go there, the UFC likes me. They always say hi to me. They talk. I've been going for a long time, 15 years.
Yeah, but you can be honest. But these people on internet, it's like they only watch the UFC for like 5 years, and
I know. I've been watching forever, dude. Like, these cards are shit. This card was fucking shit.
Yeah.
This card was dude, this year's been rough. This card was one of the worst cards for a numbered event I can ever think of.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, people are saying, all these media members, do they actually hate the UFC? No, it was better before, and that's why we want to have the quality back that we had before,
Yeah, I agree.
And the thing is, like, this might be, and I'm not over-exaggerating, this might be the worst card since the COVID era.
I think you're not wrong, honestly. Like, I was thinking back to it. To me, this is the worst pay-per-view, or that's not pay-per-view, sorry, numbered event, since, which card was bad? You're going to laugh. Jermaine Durandamy against Holly Holm.
Yeah.
That card was, they gave out only 3 bonuses that night, and Dana's like, this card was shit. He ripped it. That card and the one in Calgary, UFC 149, was also really bad. This is one of the worst cards of all time, as far as the numbered card goes. It was fucking terrible, guys. There was a couple good knockouts, but they were so quick, and there was not one like memorable fight. Like, there's not a fight I'm going to be like, oh my god, I can't wait to watch this fight again. And I actually think that's a problem for a while now, where there's not like fight of the nights very often anymore. Like this year, the only like really good fight was probably Gaethje and Pimblett, which was, people ripped on that for being a sloppy fight. I thought it was a really fun fight, so I'm okay with it. But like, other than that, you have like Marc-Andre Barriault against Michael Oleksiejczuk and like Chidiandre Kwani and Carlos Thiel. Like, those are good fights. They're not like amazing fights. They're pretty good. Like, Volkanovski Lopez was not a very good fight in my opinion. That one fight of the night. So it's just tough, man. I love the sport, dude. I've literally built my like life around the sport, right? Like, I've been pulling a paycheck for the sport for 15 years, Marcel. This is what I do for a living, partly anyways.
Yeah.
It's extremely frustrating when I spend my Saturday night, because that's Saturday night that I will never get back, right? The one last night. Same with you. That's 6-7 hours of your time, and even longer for you because you're doing all that work for Eurosport afterwards too. You'll never get back. And was it worth it? No. This card was fucking horrible. It was horrible, dude.
It was not a good card. I mean, the thing is like, and it's not like, the thing is like the UFC, and I hope for everybody they can reach the UFC. Don't get me wrong, but the UFC has way too big of a roster, and that's why a lot of these fights are losing their quality. It's quantity over quality, So that's why I always say to you, like, I'm not a fan of a 13, 14 card fight for the simple reason that there is a lot of quantity on it, If you give me quality card with 13, 14 fights, you won't hear me complain, But it's rare to get that because, like, a lot of these guys are good, but they are not the world class like other guys, So you will barely get. Remember those Pride cards back in the day,
I know.
But
it's like Shogun who in the first fight of the night and stuff.
Yeah, for example, and I know those times have changed, but it's like it's just overall very different, I think like the newer fans who I don't want to shit on them, but I think they don't know about the earlier days or like 10 years ago, so they don't understand that back in the day you fucking was pumped for like every single fucking fight on the card.
Every card, because every fight meant something to the division.
Also, listen, I said it last week. I think look at the top 5 fights on this card. I mean, RoboCop against Herrera. Indications for being in the top 15, but it's not a big fight whatsoever. Drew Dober against Michael Johnson, fun matchup, but our two unks who are fighting each other and both are not going to fight anywhere close to a top 10 or whatever. You got Rosas against Font, you got the older guy against the younger guy, maybe a change of the guard, but that's it for now. Co-main event is like who can look back to the top of the division and who has to look down in, And the main event, it was pretty much like who can still make probably a title run in the division, But I think the UFC is not happy with this main event at all, because if Holloway wins, you can make him fight the winner of Gaethje against Ilya, That's an interesting fight. Still, because I think Holloway have much more bringing to the table than Oliveira in the fight against Topuria. I know Holloway lost to him as well, but it's a different weight class. We saw Charles already fight Ilya, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I
know. Let me get some comments here, by the way. You got Antoine in the chat, as always. What's up, brother? Glad to have you here. Goats, what's up, man? Yeah, we'll talk about the whole card. What's up, Sign Collectibles? Glad to have you here as well. Antoine's at his side hustle, so that's good. Yeah, rough card was being GM's dog shit. I agree. I mean, he's right. What's up, John? Charles broke the unwritten BMF rule. Yeah, we'll talk about that fight in a second. You all say I can't think of a worse card since I start. Well said. You can't think of a worse. He's not wrong. I see. I'm glad you guys are at least honest. Like, I tweeted a lot last night about how bad the card was, and like a lot of people agree, but a lot of people are like, "You're a casual. You don't know anything about the sport. You're a fat ass with glasses." I got that a lot too, Marcel, which I laughed at. It's like these people are retarded. They lack critical thinking skills. That's what it is.
It's like. It's mostly like and not everybody before, because we probably have also some younger watchers, but it's mostly like the younger generation, who cannot take any critics about what they like, And it's not like, listen, we actually say this not because we hate the UFC
because
or
we
whatever.
love the sport.
We like it, and
that's the thing. It's the opposite. We actually love the sport. We think it should be better.
Yeah.
Right? Like the fight should be better. The sport should be better. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, I saw someone, I think Kaposa tweeted this. He's like, this was someone's first time watching the UFC last night. It was, because it was on CBS. Imagine your first fight, you're like, oh shit, I've never seen this sport before. And your first fight is fucking Cody Brundage against Dante Johnson. And you're like, this is a sport, this is a high level sport. Dude, that fight was horrible, and we'll talk about it in a few minutes as well. But they picked the wrong fights too, probably, I think, for the two prelims. The two main card fights were fine, but the prelims, not good. We'll talk about that in a sec. Do you guys think there's a solution? They have to change the rules, I think, to kind of like minimize stalling. I mean, they have, like, they've made it more damage based, but you have to like minimize stalling on the ground. Like the Rosas fight especially was pure stalling. 8 strikes landed in 50 minutes. Like, you have to stand them up, I think. If the guy's not working to advance or landing strikes, stand them up. Chidi Liao was the BMF fight. Yeah, it kind of was, wasn't it, Marcel? Those guys stood and traded. That's the thing. Remember how much I was like, holy fuck, this fight's amazing. Yeah. I was all over Twitter. And you know what? The same people that fucking said last night was like, you're an idiot for thinking this card was bad. They never watched that fight. And that fight was fucking great. Two guys, that was a BMF fight. Two guys literally stood in the pocket and traded. And again, I'm passionate because I love the fucking sport, dude. And you do too. Me and Marcel, this guy's built his life around this, so have I. Literally, that's all he thinks about, Marcel, is fucking MMA. Okay? That's all you think about, man. And you love it.
Yeah, of course.
And you hated that card last night like me.
That's not all I think about.
Well, you think about pussy too, obviously. But you know what I mean?
I mean, it's like I always tell my colleagues as well and friends, MMA is 24/7. It's always there, So it's not like there are people who are like, I'm taking a 3-week break from MMA. It just doesn't exist.
I don't take a break either. I always think about it too. All right, let's get some more comments. Joe, what's up, brother? Glad to have you. Joe said it was horrible. I agree, Joe. Yeah, the clock change is weird, lazy bit, but we're glad to have you here, man. He says, hit the like button. Don't be lacing Terry if you think I work for. I love this guy.
I was like, I was in the chat with James Lynch like a couple of days ago, and this Alan guy was always there. Like, man, it was a 1 hour time difference. I have to reset all my schedule. I was like, dude, are you a fucking girl or something? You know,
honestly, it didn't change that much for me. I just like got like earlier, I would say, like, you know, but it didn't change much for me. Joe says, you got people like saying it's not top 10 worst car. Oh, sure it was. It was bad. It was terrible. Yeah, no, I think this guy's right too. With the amount of like contender series guys, they're not ready for the UFC. Half these guys.
I always tell you, man. I mean, the thing is, like, contender series is super fun, you know.
It's exciting.
But I feel like a lot of times he signs the wrong guys or too early, you know, because he's afraid so they go somewhere else. But look at the early seasons, the first, second, and third. He actually didn't sign some of the guys there who I think who were ready, and they signed them later still, you know. And he signed guys there who I think who weren't ready. So I don't know. It's also, I really feel like it's also like, who is your manager, who's your management, and who they like. You know what I mean?
You're right. You're right. By the way, Lazy Bit, he says, you nailed it with last night. I love MMA so much. Hurt seeing where it's right now. It feels like 2026 is a low point. It is. And you're right. We wouldn't have pass just haters. Anyways, and Antoine, we will talk about White House. Let's get through this bad card first, and then we'll talk about the White House card. I have no problem with that. All right, let's go through the card. Let's go through the fights. All right. So as far as picks go, I had a pretty good night. I went 8-4. This was a hard card. People, I know. You weren't the only one, by the way. I think Cole did as well, and some a few other guys in the staff picks. But like, we did pick a couple dogs. We'll talk about that in a sec. But I mean, overall, not bad. But I completely had a horrible pick in the main event. And I mean, so did you, because we were completely wrong. I thought Max would honestly knock Charles out, and he got dominated for 5 rounds. Listen, this wasn't the fight I had the biggest problem with on the card, because Charles was trying to at least finish, at least earlier in the fight. He was going for the submission. Max was just too good at defending them. And then at some point, I think Charles was like, you know what, I just want to win this fight, and just kind of just dragged it on. It wasn't an exciting fight. I think that's fair to say. It does take 2 to tango. I don't just blame Charles. You know, I also blame Max for not having the takedown defense to keep it standing. I also think the referee, Mark Otter, should have been probably standing them up a little bit more often, or at least telling him to work, because there was thought times he was kind of stalling out later in the fight, I would say.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, of course.
Listen, I feel like, you know, if you want to do that, then maybe you do have to get extra rules for the BMF title. Like, there are only like 30 seconds on the floor.
Maybe you do that, like stand and bang rules or something. I don't know.
You know what I mean? It's already like an odd thing, but then you actually shouldn't count it as an MMA fight. You know what I mean? So, the thing is, like, do I blame Charles for how he fought? No, I don't blame him, you know. At the same time, it sucks because, like, people expect it like an absolute banger, but I understand, man. The guy knows he has to win to keep a title in front of him, you know, and he did what he had to do. And the thing is, like, if Charles goes to a striking banger with Max, he probably loses, you know what I mean? Because Max is much better on the feet if it keeps it a long time standing, much more technical. But Charles did what he had to do. I cannot blame him for that, you know what I mean? No. So the thing is, like, was it fun to watch? Definitely not, I think, you know, because Max had barely anything for him. Then Max came on top of him in the 5th round, but then he got reversed pretty much what I expected, and Charles got the 5th round as well. So it was like really like a long night, I felt, for Max. And for Charles had a clear game plan, and he executed that game plan. So I respect him for that, but I understand that people are like, BMF title, this doesn't show like a BMF. But hey, man, I mean, he did what he had to do to win, and I cannot blame him for it, you know?
Yeah, I think get rid of the BMF title, though, right? I don't think it's... I've always thought it was kind of, you know, just a gimmick. Like, I didn't mind it at first with the Nate Diaz-Masvidal fight. They had The Rock presented. That was kind of cool. They got to get rid of it now. It's just stupid. And, like, it's not even... Like, they don't even have to really make the weight anyways. Like, they can come in half a pound heavier, you know, a pound over. So it's not a championship fight. It's just stupid. But yeah, Charles, I'm just looking at the numbers. 21 minutes of control time. I mean, that's incredible. I think it's, like, one of the most dominant performances like ever, really, in a main event, I guess, or a title fight, whatever you want to call it. But it's just funny, actually. Like, I really thought Max would do better than this, and like looking back at it, like Michael Chandler had more success against Charles. It was just crazy. Like, Michael Chandler almost finished Charles in the 5th round of that fight. Remember that, Marcel?
Yeah. But was it after a headbutt or something, or what did he do?
I can't remember, but I just remember he won the 5th round. I just looked at the scorecards, and he landed more strikes. Max had a really rough night. unfortunately, he's not a top. I guess he's not top. I mean, he did knock out Gaethje, who's fighting for the belt, but it's like he doesn't feel like he's a top contender.
I think he is, but I think Max also.
Bad matchup.
No, not just that. I also think Max was like us. He probably thought that Charles would strike a little bit more.
Trade. Well, yeah, and that's why. Because like in my mind, I thought they were going to stand and trade.
Yeah, me too.
But even if I did think Charles was going to grapple, I thought he would struggle to get Max down because historically Max has good takedown defense. Not in this fight though, obviously. And the thing is, it's not like double leg takedowns and stuff, right? It's like body lock control type takedowns. It's a different type of takedown.
I think we should have thought it a little bit more in the sense of like not I think if I speak for you wrongly, you should say, but I think we both thought like it's a BMF title. We're going to see some more fun striking in this fight, and not like the meticulous Charles who really stays to the game plan and tries to get Max to the ground. Listen, there was a chance he was going to do that, but like you said, I thought Max would be able to at least keep the fight standing for a couple of times. I knew Charles was probably going to get it to the ground at some point, but I was like, Max probably will be able to get the fight standing again, but barely was anything. So it's like a perfectly done game plan by Charles Oliveira. And I said, a lot of hate for Charles online because of that, but I cannot hate on the guy,
Yeah, we'll see what happens for him next. I would imagine, I think the Arman rematch does make sense at this point. They're both there, right? I would think, but maybe he just fights the winner, Gaethje and Ilya.
I honestly think we should see I think Arman should fight for the title, but it's not going to happen.
He should, but it's not going to.
So do the rematch, do a 5-rounder, make it the main event of a fight night
card. Or BMF title between two grapplers, BMF. Arman and Charles, BMF.
No, retired BMF title. Fuck off. Okay. Just like Charles against Arman rematch. Do it in Brazil. I don't care. And make it a 5-rounder. Winner fights for the title, guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean they could do that. So we'll see what happens for Max. We'll see. I mean, like I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It really is hard to say. Like, does he go back to 45? Because if Volkanovski retires, then it leaves him open for a title shot.
Maybe. I don't know. It can, but I don't know, man. I don't know, but there is an opportunity, of course, if Volkanovski retire. But I think he's actually going to sign a new contract, so I don't know.
We'll see. And hey, what's up, Clayton? He says like if they're going to keep the title or BMF belt around once a year and unwritten rules, like make it stand and bang rules like in the video game or something. If they're going to keep it around, I think because if you're a casual fan and you like BMF title, like I had. My friends, Marcel, they're really quick. Casual friends, they were texting me last night. They're like, "Yo, is this going to be a good fight?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's going to be amazing." And it's like they were messaging, they're like, "Dude, I thought this was supposed to be a striking match." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't."
I mean, the BMF title, they cannot interfere BMF with the actual title because they want to keep that thing separate. They need the BMF title to make a main event on a numbered card where they don't have a main event for. You know what I mean? So Charles cannot fight. I'm never was a fan of it. So
all right, let's go to the next fight here. Caio Borralho defeats Reinier de Ridder by decision. Kind of an uneventful fight, man. De Ridder, I think, looked really, really bad. Dana was kind of like. Dana even said that he's like, I don't know what happened to this guy. I mean, he's looked terrible the last couple of fights. Caio wins. I thought 2-1 was fair. I mean, I think 3-0 was fine, but I think 2-1 because I did think De Ridder won round 2. But uneventful fight. Caio, he called out. Who did he call it again? What was the call?
Drickus.
Maybe, but like to be honest, man, like I don't think this win elevates him that much. It wasn't a really good fight, in my opinion.
It's a good bounce back fight for Borralho after losing to Imavov, I think he won the first and the third round. The second round was kind of 50-50 to me, So like I said, 29-28, 30-27, I'm good with both. I see a lot of people, and listen, I'm from the Netherlands, so I see a lot of Dutch comments, a lot of people saying robbery. You got to be fucking out of your mind if you think it's a robbery. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, for the Netherlands, obviously it would be good if Reinier won, but I think Caio rightfully won, so... I mean, wasn't a great fight. The only thing that people are saying, and I agree with that, are the cage grabs by Caio in the first round. I mean, but that's on Herb Dean, And Herb Dean is like a fossil who should have been retired 10 years ago. And I always liked Herb Dean. For years, I said he was the best referee, but he's not anymore, And if Herb Dean sees it, he gets probably pissed at me. But I just think he's not that good anymore, He was, for a long time, he was the main guy, in my opinion, as a referee, but not anymore. So, But yeah, Borralho won. He wants Dricus. I honestly think I think the UFC should do Hamzat against Strickland, but maybe even Imavov. But I prefer the Strickland fight. Maybe you can do Imavov against Brandon Allen, and you can do or I think and you can.
Wait, they fought already though. They fought.
No, I don't. Sorry, I mean you can do Dricus against Brandon Allen, and then maybe Imavov against Borralho. But
they just fought though.
Yeah, I know, but what you want to do?
Why?
You know
no,
I mean?
You could do. Then you do Imavov against Dracus.
Imavov against Dracus. Oh yeah, and then Borralho against Allen. Yeah, makes sense.
Right? I think that's the way to do it. I would think, anyways. It is kind of weird though that Allen is. I have Zurita fought before Allen. I think that's a little weird, but all right. Next fight, just an absolutely disgusting fight. Raul Rosas defeats Rob Font by decision. 16 takedowns. 10 minutes of control time, 8 strikes landed, 8 significant strikes landed. I mean, people shit on Torres Finney. This was just as bad, even worse in my opinion. This fight sucked the life out of me, dude. Horrible fight, horrible. I'm not on this guy's train, man. I'm telling you, this guy. I know he's 21, okay, so that's why he's getting the pass. This style, dude, I hate this style of fighting, Marcel, where you're just laying, praying, you're taking no risk, 0 submission attempts, guys, 0. At least Charles had 4 submission attempts. This guy never tried to finish the fight. He never tried to ground and pound Rob Font. He just wanted to lay on top of him. Horrible fight. What do you think? Am I right?
Yeah, man, it was pretty much what I expected, to be really honest, man. Rosas tried to go for a takedown and hold Font down. That's what I expected. And I mean, the thing is, like, we've seen Font fight before, and Font is not great on the ground. And
I know, but 16 takedowns is just like horrible, dude.
I know, but I always it's fun when people are saying, "Dude, he got 20 takedowns." I'm like, yeah, but that means that you cannot keep the fighter on the ground.
Yeah, he got back up a lot.
So, I mean, let's be honest. We both expect the process to win here. There was like a really, how do you say that? A good matchup stylistically for him, because we know Font, his striking is pretty good, his boxing is great, but his ground game is the one that's what he lacks normally, So Rosas can get it to the ground. Not a fun fight to watch. Listen, Rosas is in the rankings now. I wonder who they're going to match him up with next. But it was not a fun fight to watch for sure, And
I hated it, dude. I just think that these type of fighters should just be eradicated from the sport, dude. Honestly, these guys that are just not trying to finish a fight, laying and praying. It's a lay and pray. It's what it was, lay and pray. Again, 0 submission attempts. 0. How? And 8 significant strikes landed. So he didn't do any damage. He never tried to finish by a choke. So he just lay on top of him. So the refs got to stand the fight up in this situation. The ref was Jason Herzog. Stand it up. Tell him, hey, work. Come on. I'll say at least Herb Dean's like, hey, work. He's the one guy. Oh, really? Sean Strick, 3rd most ever. Yeah, because I think Khabib has the most, right? With that fight with Abel Trujillo.
Is it Marab? No.
Oh, it was Marab. Sorry, Marab probably. But I think, remember Khabib against Trujillo had like 20-something?
Also, we also differ in this opinion. I agree with you that fight shouldn't be boring. But in my opinion, the fighter who is fighting the guy who is grappling should be able to stand up themselves, shouldn't have the referee intervening.
I agree.
Although it makes it boring sometimes. I fully agree with you,
Yeah, this fight was just, again, if you're not working to advance position or go for a submission or go for ground and pound, like Rob Font landed more significant strikes in this fight. That's pathetic. That really is. So I'm just off this guy's train right now, man. I mean, he's going to keep winning fights probably because he's got this heavy ground style, but like, for betting, it's great if you're betting on guys like this because you know what they're going to do. But for fans to watch from an entertainment perspective, it's horrible. One of the only good fights in the card, Drew Dober against Michael Johnson. Really good fight. First round, obviously, Johnson looked really good, fast, sharp, outstriking Dober, and then Dober lands a bomb. And I think we kind of he did call. I think hit the button.
I think Alex Bahunin called that. He actually
said Alex had a great call. He said Michael Johnson's going to be winning until he's not. So yeah, we had the dog. So the line flipped at the end, right? So all this crazy line movement, but we picked Johnson or Dober as like plus 120 dog last week. So it's a dog. It's a consensus dog. I mean he has a death touch, dude. We already knew this, right? So Great fight. It was like one of the only good fights in the card, and Battle of the Unks, but fun to watch.
Yeah, you know what cracked me up is when Dober went to Michael Johnson right before the day before. He's like, dude, that meme that's going around. Thank you for speaking up. I have nothing against black people.
I thought that was funny too. Anyways, I've loved Dober for years.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just an exciting guy, and Michael Johnson's fun to watch too. So great fight. I mean, the thing is, like you said, it doesn't have any stakes, but that's okay because it's just a good fight. So one of the only good fights, one of the only bright spots on the card, and $100,000 for Drew Dober. And then another bright spot here, Greg Rodriguez, another just insane knockout. I mean, he must be one of the most heavy-handed punchers like the UFC's ever seen, right? He has how many wins by knockout? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 knockouts in the UFC. This one and the Jack Hermanson one last year, one punch knockouts where the guy just went unconscious. Incredible knockout, gets the revenge right from losing the first fight. I love RoboCop. You know how much I love RoboCop, Marcel.
Yeah, I think they should have put him on the White House card. He could go back home after a couple of years because he lived there for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So Obama, but yeah, I mean,
I think it was 8 years, wasn't it? He had 2 runs.
Yeah, it was 2. I can't remember even, but probably. But yeah, it's like the Hermanson knockout was great, but I didn't like the punch he landed afterwards. When Hermanson was already clearly out.
He learned from that. I was about to mention that. Yep.
It was a great win here for him, man. And it's definitely awesome for him because he lost the first time,
Yep.
And now people were still like, does he get knocked out again? But no, he actually knocked Bruno out. Good win for him, but I mean, doesn't really do too much for him because it's like still bottom top 15. But at least he can look back up again and might get somebody in the top 10 next, or maybe top 15.
Is he ranked or no?
I think he's just ranked or just not. Because
he's 13th. Yeah. He was 13th.
Yeah.
And Paulo Costa is not going to be ranked anymore. So actually, Bruno was ranked. Actually, Bruno is ranked. So yeah, I mean, maybe he'll fight the winner. We'll see. I'm just looking at the rankings. Like, I guess Whitaker's going to move out of the division. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, actually, I wouldn't mind if he fought De Ridder, to be honest. That'd be kind of an interesting fight because if it went to the ground, it'd be interesting, right? De Ridder and RoboCop.
True. We got some great news here, dude.
What's up?
Our coach is how do you say that? They kick out our coach. Yes. Awesome.
Ajax?
Yeah.
Good. Fucking bum.
That's like the second coach that is fired this year, so that's perfect. He was already an interim coach, but they kicked him out as well. So yeah, amazing. But yeah, I agree with you. That would be a fun matchup. So,
and what's saying Caio too. I mean, that's a fun fight, but I think Kyle's a little ahead of him personally. Costa and Asma, I gotta think. I haven't thought about it at all. Giving Raul and Cheeto, maybe they'll do Figgy and him. I don't know. There was another question about you guys. Yeah, the tweet about Michael Johnson. Yeah, Dana said it was bullshit. Apparently, like. That guy makes a lot of tweets like that. It is kind of crazy, though. He called the round and everything. He's like, Michael Johnson's going to get knocked out in the second round. But anyways, let's get back to the card. Prelims okay, so those 2 knockouts were awesome. Prelims, horrible prelims. An absolutely terrible fight here between Cody Garbrandt and Zhao Long. With marred by fouls, you had, I think, 3 low blows. You had Cody puking in a bucket. 2 points deducted for repeated low blows. Cody wins a really controversial decision. Hit the button. We had Cody as a consensus dog. Hit the button. But I don't think he won. I'm just going to say it right now. I thought that Zhao won every round and then 2 points, so it would be 28-27. 2 judges gave the first round to Cody. There was a knock. I think it didn't count as a knockdown with that elbow, but he rocked him bad. But the other guy dropped him or hurt him with the head kick a couple times too, right? So
I agree. By the way, I think Zhao Long got what he deserved pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a dirty cheater, dude. Like,
he what really made me laugh. It's like afterwards, Zhao Long goes to Cody and he's like almost like apologizing a little bit. And Cody's like, "Fuck off, dude, man! You even hit me after the bell, And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." And Cody really wanted to have that. He kept it nice and polite, but he really didn't want to have anything from it. And then Zhao Long keeps talking, and Cody walks away. And then Alex Perez comes like, "Yeah, dude, it's okay." So I messaged Alex, and I was like, "Oh, dude, you're such a cutie, always being so nice to the people." And he was like smart. He was like smart. It's like, yeah.
Listen, I'm glad Cody got back in the win column, but my God, he's washed, Marcel. It's hard to watch this now.
It's so like, listen, we are so used to Cody like being super crisp how he fights, and I feel like TJ Dillashaw ruined his career like TJ Dillashaw ruined Conor Barrow's career,
Right, both guys,
Both guys never reached the same level anymore as they were before, and it fucking sucks. I remember in the beginning, wasn't really a Cody fan because I felt like he was really heated all the time and really like a little bit too much, in my opinion. But I started down the years go, I started to really respect the guy, and
me too. I think he's like really matured well as like a person.
Yeah.
I know the tattoos are stupid. I don't like them either.
I
but
mean,
he's a good dude. Honestly, he is. And I was with you because when he first came in, I thought they're pushing this guy because he's a pretty boy and he's got the hands and everything. But like
he was with Paige.
Yeah, and then but over the years, man, like I've just like grown to respect him more as you. But as like right now, dude, he looked really washed up last night. It was hard to watch him. Like he looked slow. He was getting beat to the punch.
I mean, Cody, who is like top contender, knocked Xiao Long out in the first round. You know what I mean?
I agree. By the way, looking at the stats, Xiao Long outlanded him in all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So I guess the judges thought it was a knockdown with the elbow, and that's why they gave it to him. 2 of them. One judge gave the 3rd round. I don't know how you give the 3rd round. I mean, listen, it's almost like you're punishing the guy again for the low blows, which is, I mean, I think he should have been, first off, I think he should have been disqualified. Do you agree?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
yeah, this fight should have, like, once he started puking the bucket, they should have, and then here's the thing, there's a few problems with the announcers. The announcers don't know the rules.
Yeah.
They don't, like, oh, we're going to go to the scorecards. No, because it was an intentional foul, and points are deducted, so it's a DQ.
That's always so weird to me, man, that
they don't know the rule.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's not. Listen, if it's a really weird rule, that normally never is happening. I understand.
Seen this before.
But these are the things they should know, in my opinion.
Just because it's 3rd round doesn't mean that it's going to go to scorecards. It was unintentional, yes, but it wasn't. It was an intentional low blow. He did it like 3 times. I also feel like this fight should have been stopped once he puked. And you obviously retweeted my tweet. Other people, like Kaposa, Eric McGracken, people that I respect in the business that know the rules, they thought the same thing as me. The rules are a little ambiguous because it's like if the guy pukes during the fight, it's considered like a medical stoppage, but there was a timeout too. So I think because it was a timeout, there's some leeway there with the ref, but because he puked and the ref was supposed to be about fighter safety, that's when the ref says, you know what, I'm stopping the fight, or at least brings the doctor in, which I don't think the doctor went in the ring, right?
Yeah, no, he didn't. At least they didn't show us on camera,
It was weird. That picture of Cody puking the bucket, that just sums up the card last night. Like, it really does.
Yeah.
Just a fucking disgusting card.
You made it like how do you say that? A wallpaper. What do you think of UFC 326?
I should put this as my background right now. Yeah. By the way, so I think puking, like if a guy kicks you in the stomach, like legally, and you puke, then you're TKO'd. But because it's a foul, I think it's a DQ. I think. Yeah. So it's a weird rule. That part's a little weird. I could give the announcers slack for that, but not for the scorecards. Marcel, really quick, they kept saying he needs a knockout. No, he didn't. He just needed to win the last round.
Yeah, if you take a point from someone, then it's an intentional foul. So you cannot take a point for an unintentional foul. You know what I mean? So
he only needed a knockout if you thought he lost the first 2 rounds, but the judges did. But most people watching thought it was 2-0 Zhao, right? The odds were like minus 700. I looked at them. Right before the low blow, Cody was like plus 500. You hit that, you're like, yes.
And you had like a guy on Twitter who was like going back and forth with you who didn't know how to score for some reason.
Oh, that guy last, yeah. I don't.
Really weird.
He's like, dude, it's a 10-point must system. How did you score 9-8? I'm like, because it was 10-9 Zhao and he took 2 points for deducted, so it's 9-8 Cody. He's like, no, you don't get it. It's 10-9 must. You must give 10 points. I'm like, dude, you don't understand math. Like, I wasn't trying to be mean to the guy, but he was going after me, So
it's like, did you see my message on Facebook where I
saw about how to score a split decision or something?
Yeah. So
I saw Struve and Vermees going.
Yeah.
Anyways, getting back to the fight, talk about split decision. I think this is why you tweeted it, because of this fight. So perfect segue. An absolutely fucking terrible fight between Dante Johnson and Cody Brundage. This has got to be. Listen. I know Cody's your guy. I know he is. Marcel, this has got to be the end of his career in the UFC. It can't be. He can't get more fights.
You know what's funny about this one, man? You know what's funny about this one? Adam was acting like a woman to me after the fight. So he tells me on WhatsApp, he's like, this was, I think you said round 2 and round 3 for Dante Johnson. That's what you told me, and round 1 for Cody. Yeah. So I tell you, I said Cody got round 1, Dante got round 2. But I think Cody landed the better punches in round 3. But I can see giving it to Dante Johnson because of the pressuring and also what he did. So I had no problem. Then he goes in the fucking Discord from James Flynn, and he says, Marcel says Brundage clearly won. I never said that. You know, I said it was close. So I can see that someone scored it for Brundish. I can see people scoring it for Johnson. And I think if you look at it online, people had it like 29-28 one guy, 29-28 the other guy. It was just not a great fight, in my opinion.
Horrible.
You know?
And the guy didn't look
like,
minus 1,000 regardless, right?
The thing is with Cody, I always feel like it's something mentally, you know?
It is.
Yeah.
He was in this. I think he could have won this fight. I really do.
For sure he could have won this fight. There's something, a mental blockage somewhere, you know, that he cannot get through over it or something.
You know what it is, Marcel? He doesn't believe in himself. That's what it is.
That sucks because
he won the first round, right? He won the first round. He controlled Dante, and you're like, whoa, maybe there's an upset here. Second round, he just starts showing up. He was like this and walking backwards. It was really weird, wasn't it? And the third round, there was about 1 minute left, Marcel. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, Dante's up, but like Cody, if he hurts him bad, he wins. Bro, like it was still on the table at that point. Yeah.
Did you see the post fight for the presser with Dante Johnson?
No, I never watched it.
It was funny. So a guy I know from the Netherlands, Amir, he's from buiten de Kooi. He asked him the first question. And Amir asked him like, bro, I was watching the fight and you keep your chin very high and you have your defense low. Is that a certain way of the way you fight? Isn't that dangerous? Because you got hit a lot with that as well. And Dante is like, dude, I gave my best. And Dante was really annoyed by that question. And then the guy is like, yeah, but I just mean, is that a certain game plan that you had? He's like, no, I'm still learning on the job. You know, it's not a game plan. So after that, Dante was really upset. So the guy tells me, he's like, after when the cameras were shut off, you know, Dante came up to me and I went to him and I was like, dude, I didn't mean it that way. And Dante gave me a hug. He was like,
really?
Maybe I was a little bit heated because of that. And he's like, I actually didn't mean it that way. You know, I just wanted to know if it was a certain game plan you was trying to do.
You also wonder if the matchmakers or Dana went up to him and said, dude, that fight was terrible. Because sometimes they will, like Sean Shelby or Mick will talk to the fighters after and they're like, they give their thoughts, you know?
I mean, remember Myron Santos that he said like he won against Francis Marshall and everybody was like, you didn't. And then 2 days after the fight.
Watched the fight after? Yeah. And he's like, you guys were right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Dude, this fight was fucking terrible, though. What a terrible fight. And again, the two fights on the main card were fine, but why did they choose these two fights on the prelims for the?
I have no idea.
It's weird. Do you guys think Cody is haunted by the title fight win? I don't know. I mean, Cody's he's an older fighter now. He doesn't have the speed he used to have, which was we relied on it. Yeah, Dante has 8 fights now, and he's still learning on the job. But yeah, I mean, it's bad. By the way, Cody has 15 fights in the UFC, and he's on a 4-fight winless skid. I think he gets cut, Marcel. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think he's getting another fight. I like Cody a lot. He's a nice guy. You know, we've talked about his daughter, you know, has an illness, and I have a soft spot for that because I have a daughter. And I think Cody's a really good dude. Like, he really is a nice guy. I don't think he's UFC level. I'm not saying that, you know, to be mean, but maybe he goes to PFL and he'll do better, you know, in PFL. I could see that happening. And Christian's right too. I mean, imagine this is your first time ever watching UFC. This is your first fight. You're like, this is a high level fight. Terrible. All right, let's go back to the other fights really quick. Really good finisher by Alberto Montes against Ricky Turcios. This fight was actually pretty fun, right, Marcel? This one? Turcios Montes. One of the only fun fights.
That was the moment that you were getting your food.
I literally left to get my wings right when the submission happened. So I did see it though, but yeah, I had to run out.
After Adam got the wings, he flew back home. So
it's only down the street for me, so it's not far. But yeah, I mean, a great finish for this guy. Another anaconda. That's his thing. Ricky probably gets cut too, unfortunately. Yeah.
That makes me think, do we get another Beard Meets Food episode tonight, man? Let's hope. He always uploads on Sunday.
So I was telling Marcel and me, we watched this guy, Beard Meets Food. I'm sure some of you guys watch on YouTube as well.
First name is Adam.
Dude, he was, like I said, I never realized this, but a few years ago, he was right by my house. Like 5 minutes from my house, this guy. I wish I'd met him. Damn it, Marcel.
Yeah, that channel is so much fun to watch. Man, he was in Italy last time, dude.
Yeah.
Those girls there, dude.
Yeah, the Italian girls. Their waitresses there are like supermodels. It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, true.
All right, let's get back to the card. Neem Jargo, Tumen Dembril defeats Cody Durham. We were wrong about this one. We had 3 dogs. We had 2 wins, 1 loss. Mm-hmm. Cody is another guy that's going to get cut, unfortunately. He's lost 6 of his last 7 fights. And, you know, Marcel, again, he was looking okay, but no gas tank at all. It was surprising, I would say. But I don't think Neem Jargo is that good either. This fight was horrible, dude.
So look at True's comment.
And Connor said, "That's funny." Bro, this fight though was pretty bad. I think.
Yeah, it wasn't a great fight. And the thing was, like, Tumen Demirel was also fighting dirty, man, for some reason, you know?
Grab the fence, right?
Yeah, grabbed the fence, tried to kick Cody in the head. At the end of the fight was just really weird. I was like,
I
"What the
think
hell
if
are you
it's
doing?"
after the bell, you should take a point away, personally.
Yeah, but I mean, he hit him also after the bell twice, you know. And in the last round, he tried to kick his head off. You know, it's like that horse pushed him away. But yeah, just like I didn't like that, and also the audience didn't like that at all. You know,
No.
So but yeah, it was a deserved win for Nyap Jargal Tumen Demirel.
Does Cody get cut though? 4 straight losses, 6 of 7.
I wouldn't be surprised, but you know, I really like Cody.
I like him too, but it's like you got to win too, you know.
The problem with Cody is that he once said that about we send him back to China, and everybody now thinks he's a racist or whatever. But he's a really cool dude, you know.
I remember that.
So the funny thing is, like a couple of years ago, I still did for Eurosport. I asked fighters for their picks for the main card. And I also asked Cody, and Cody's like, "Yeah, for sure. Who do you want?" And it was the card with Carla and Zhang Weili on it, I think, you know. So he gave me his picks, and he picked Zhang Weili. I was like, "Dude, I'm so surprised you're picking Zhang Weili." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "I thought you wanted to send her back to China." He's like, "Oh my God, dude, I regret so much that I said that because I didn't even mean it that way. I was just saying something like, I'm glad I got this guy out, you know." It's like, yeah, no matter, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. This card is just weird. You had all these Asian fighters on the card. Like, was this card was there supposed to be a card in like China before this or something, and they got canceled?
I have no idea.
It's odd though, right? You had this guy, you had Zhao, and you had Sumadarji the next fight. It's just weird.
And Bolaños was fighting a Korean dude, but it didn't happen, the fight, you know, and it got replaced by another Korean dude. So yeah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. The league guy missed, or he didn't weigh in, which is not a good look, obviously. You wonder if he just gets cut because the UFC hates that so much. Sumadarji wins 30-27. This fight was pretty bad too. Like Joe Rogan was really critical because he's like he could finish the fight and he's not trying. It was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, by the way, a horrible pick from me. I picked
pretty bad pick.
Yeah, thank you, Adam.
It happens.
I'll
give you credit though, because at least Cody was competitive. This fight wasn't, though. You know.
Yeah, this was like it really showed. It was like almost they were in a different weight class. You know,
this guy's
he
so
couldn't
small,
reach him.
Dude.
Yeah, he couldn't reach him. Sumadarji could get him a distance, had the better shots, looked better on the ground. So good. Listen, man, I think it's his third win in a row after he had a really bad skid in the UFC. So good for Sumadarji, right?
Yeah, he's kind of saved his career a little bit. But again, I like Jesus. You know, I told you, it's just hard sometimes when you love a guy, but you have to kind of get off the train at some point. And this was the fight because 10-inch reach disadvantage is hard to overcome, I think, in the UFC. But what surprised me was Sue was actually the better grappler. I'll give him that. He made some improvements there, but a bad fight. Another horrible performance here by this Rafael Tobias guy. Just horrible, Marcel. DR, credit to him. Pulled off the upset here, kept the fight standing, and just outstruck the guy. But a terrible, terrible, terrible fight, I think, too. What do you think?
Yeah, it was also not a good fight, you know, but DR actually looked at least kind of okay in comparison to his last couple of fights, you know?
He did, but Tobias, or whatever his name is, just a terrible debut. Like, really bad. Didn't really grapple that much. Kind of just stood there and looked. He kind of looked like he had the octagon jitters, to me. And it's too bad because he looked good at Contender Series, right? You're like, wow, this guy's could probably win by submission in this fight and couldn't get the fight to the ground. Yeah. And then opening the card, you had a kind of a crazy fight here to open the card. One of the only, and it's funny how the card starts with this. You're like, okay, it's gonna be a good night of fights. And it turned out to be a shit night of fights. But like Luke Fernandez is kind of lighting up a lot of Marcel for the first 3 minutes of this fight, and then he just gets blasted. And I would say this is a fraud check, honestly, because undefeated, big favorite, and gets knocked out by a guy who's going to be caught by the UFC. Good for Bellado, gets a bonus. What are you going to say?
Say it. A Bellado. A mosquito.
An albino.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to do it.
No, it's cool. Dude, I mean, kind of a fraud check. I know you guys hate when I use the term, but it kind of was.
Yeah, it was like, I didn't expect too much from Bellado. I think Fernandez started pretty well, you know, but Bellado stopped him, you know, and we were like, let's go already 0-1 in the first fight. And then we were 0-2, and then we were 0-3.
Dude, you were 0-3? I'm like, Marcel, 0-4. You were I was 1-3. I was 1-3 and ended up 8-4. So like, great recovery for me. Mm-hmm. But Marcel, for you, was 0-4. It was just was hard to recover from that.
I mean, I still think I did pretty decent.
You did okay. You had somehow. I don't know.
The funny thing is, like, that was the make. I was like, let's go. I have 4 in a row, and I was like, check the main event gonna suck now because I cannot have a perfect main card. And indeed,
you know what? That's the other thing. Like once we had the 4 fights, I'm like, this one I don't know it anymore. You know, it worries me because it's so hard to go 5-0 on the main card.
And we lost some massive points for Holloway on the confidence pool thing.
Terrible.
You know?
That was 4 times points. All right, last question out of 10. Give me a rating really quick.
I give it a 3, and then I think I'm very nice.
I'm gonna say 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna give a half point for each of the 4 knockouts. Or finishes. But overall, just a very forgettable card. Not a card I ever want to watch again. Just terrible. So that's it for UFC 326. I never want to think about this card again, honestly. All right, now let's talk about UFC White House, guys. So they announced the card last night, UFC White House. They announced 6 fights. Marcel, we'll go through the card. So here's the thing. So me and Marcel have been talking for a while. I've been bothering Marcel on WhatsApp. I'm like, dude, come on, tell me the fights. He's like, I don't know, man. I'm asking the managers, they won't tell me. I'm like, come on, you know. Marcel kept saying, I don't know. So you didn't know, but you had kind of a feeling that probably would be Topuria, Gaethje.
I had like 15 to 20 visuals pre-made, and from the 6 fights, I had 5 of those visuals made. So
really, you had 5 of them made? Wow.
I had Topuria, Gaethje, I had Pereira, Gan.
Yeah.
I had O'Malley, Zahabi. I had Garcia,
Really?
Lopez. Yeah, and I had Nickel Dawkins. I only didn't have Rufi against.
How did you have those other ones? You had heard something, or?
Yeah, I heard like things behind the scenes, but I never got any confirmation. Yeah. So that's why I never said anything, you know. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to confirm it because the UFC really told the management to shut the fuck up or we scrap your fight from the
that's the thing, right? So Dana said last night they had like 20 fights, they picked 6. Supposed to be 7. I kind of feel like they should add a 7th though, because
I fully expect that they put on Derek Lewis, Gable Stevenson on the card.
I think they're going to add a fight because people were pissed last night. But here's the thing that what did you want from the card though? If you didn't if you don't like this card, what did you want? That's all I want to know.
If you ask me, listen, Gaethje against Topuria. Topuria has to defend this title. It's Gaethje. You cannot go anywhere else.
What else were you going to do? Yeah, like that's
you cannot go anywhere else. We knew Alex Pereira was probably going to be on the card, you know, and it has to be an interim title fight because Tom is not there.
What's wrong with that fight? It's a great fight.
Nothing wrong. Then we got Sean O'Malley against Zahabi. Personally, I would pick Sean O'Malley against Sandhagen, but I don't mind Zahabi because I think Zahabi deserves it.
He deserves it more. That's the one thing I'll say about this card. I actually think they gave guys that earned an opportunity to like step up on a big card the chance. So I'm okay with this fight. I mean, I'm biased because I'm Canadian, but like the fight. Keep going.
Chandler Rufi, I don't like.
It's a fun fight, but that's the one that's like kind of a mismatch. I would say.
It's a complete mismatch in my opinion. So Nickel against Dawkins, I don't mind.
I love this fight, dude. Am I crazy?
Dawkins has looked great since he came out of the UFC.
I think he could win this fight, man. He's like a big underdog again.
I think so too. And to be honest, maybe the best fight on the card is Diego Lopez against Steve
By far the best fight.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I said last night, I'm like, this is the best fight on the card. This is like a fight of the year candidate potentially. Like I was thinking today, I was just I'm like, Steve Garcia is a guy I remember from Bellator. He lost to Joe Warren. He was terrible in Bellator. He has grinded for like 15 years now in the sport to get to this point. He's won 7 straight fights. He's 8-1, I think, in UFC with 7 knockouts, 7 straight wins, knocking everyone out. He deserves his chance against Diego Lopez, who's one of those durable guys who's like impossible to knock out. Like, I wish this fight was 5 rounds because I actually think this is going to be an incredible fight.
I think so too. Yeah.
So when I saw the card, because we were talking, Marcel, I was like, this card's going to suck. It's going to be disappointing. It was for me. It was the opposite. I was like,
I told you.
I was pleasantly surprised. I'm like, wow, they actually made the best fights. So, our good friend Alex Bahunin, I love Alex. He's not here to defend himself.
Me too. Fuck him, but I love him too. Yeah.
He's like, why didn't they add Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano? Dude, I'm going to say this right now. I don't care about this fight. Will I watch it? Yeah, I'm going to watch it. But I don't care about this fight.
Same.
You know what year it is right now? You know what year it is, right? 2026.
No. Oh, wasn't it 2018? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Do you know when Gina's last fight was? 2009.
Yeah.
17-year layoff. You know when Ronda's last fight was? 2016. You know how old they both are? Ronda's almost 40. Gina's in her 40s.
Yeah.
Fight's not relevant. I'm glad they didn't book it on this card. I really am. John Jones, he didn't deserve his chance. He blew it. He fucked over the UFC, blew it. Conor McGregor, you can't trust the guy, unfortunately.
I agree.
You know? And he'll probably fight in the I hope he does fight at the international fight week, but
I hope he don't.
Maybe not. But here's the thing.
I'm completely done with those fighters. You know, they're like super egomaniac all the time.
I know what you're saying. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say about this card. A lot of, I would say more of the American fans, from what I've seen on Twitter and Discord and stuff, they're like, why are you making these fights where the American guys are going to lose? Well, What, did you just think it's supposed to be 6 mismatches? Is that what you wanted to? I don't get it, really. That's the thing. Did you think it was going to be 6 title fights? Because how could they do that? They're never going to do that.
No.
What did you expect? Because right now you have Topuria, who's 1A or 2 for the pound for pound. Alex Pereira, who's pound for pound, right? You have Gon, who's one of the best heavyweights. You got Hoofy's one of the most exciting strikers. You have Bo Nickel, one of the biggest names, Olympic guy. You have Diego Lopez and Steve Garcia, two most exciting guys in the UFC. Sean O'Malley's one of the biggest names in the UFC. Like, Gaethje's the interim champ. Like, I don't understand people complaining about this fight. Gaethje's the interim champion. He has to get the title fight. You can't just give someone else the fight.
The funny thing is, like, do I like to see Gaethje to fight Ilya? No, but he's the interim champ. You cannot go around him. You know, that's the problem that they make guys. Gaethje.
They were supposed to do this fight, or Ilya versus Paddy. They wanted to do that in January, but they couldn't because the guy's wife divorced him. So,
yeah, but Paddy just shit the bed, you know, pretty much. You know, Paddy should have won against Gaethje. Then that would have been the main event, probably. You know.
And there's no women's fights on this card. They're there. You know, it was women's empowerment yesterday. Dana said it wasn't the Harrison Nunes fight. I still think that would have made sense on this card. Or you could have did Dern and Zhang. I don't mind if there's one women's fight, by the way. I didn't mind. But you know, I was a little surprised Derek Lewis wasn't on the card because Trump loves him.
Yeah.
Maybe they still do him and Gable Stevenson, or maybe they could do is there another striker at heavyweight that he could beat? I'm not sure who would be. Like some American.
I really think they should do him and Gable Stevenson, man. I think they really should.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I think the fight makes sense. I think they should add one more fight. I think 7's better than 6. Mm-hmm. I do wish it was full 12 fights because Dana said they had 20 and they would have lived down to 6. The only other thing I'd say is this. I think the matchmaking is really bad right now in the UFC. Mm-hmm. Dana said that he picked all these fights. So I like the fights. That's the thing. And it makes me wonder, like, if Dana got more involved, would the fights be better? That's what I'm wondering now, because I just wonder, like, how much Hunter Campbell's kind of like one of the main guys now, right? But Hunter's kind of still new to the UFC. Like, how much MMA did he watch before he took over the UFC?
I feel Hunter's really kind of in the business kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer by trade. Yeah. I just don't feel like the matchmaking is that good right now. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before, you know. I think that there is more like they more go for spectacle than they go for like merit, you know what I mean? And the thing is, like, I think you have to find like a sweet combination for that, you know. I always be like, if somebody absolutely deserves a title shot, but you don't like it, put the fight in the co-main event and do the spectacle as the main event, you know what I mean?
But again, you know, if you don't like this card, I'm just wondering, what else did you want? Like, did you want Conor? Would that make it better? A guy who has sat out for 4 years?
Brother,
that makes the card better?
I don't understand these people who are so nut hugging for Conor and Jones, man, you know?
Jones has knee problems. He's going to get a hip replacement.
Yeah, but it's like these people always want to like pull a dead horse or something, you know? There are people who are still talking about like guys who have been past their prime, you know. And listen, Jones said he retires, and now in the White House card, he somehow can fight. Conor McGregor,
doesn't make any sense.
We haven't seen him for years, you know.
Yeah,
and he's promising he's coming back. I think Dana said for sure Conor McGregor fights in 2022. We're in 2026. He hasn't fought. You know what I mean? So it's like, what the hell do we want here?
Like I said, they actually are rewarding guys for putting in the work. Like Steve Garcia has been one of those active guys. Diego Lopez has saved the UFC's ass. Alex Pereira saved the UFC's ass. Topuria's number 1 or 2 pound for pound besides Islam. Islam's probably going to fight Ian Gary or Michael Morales at International Fight Week. That's probably what they're saving him for.
I mean, Diego Lopez, I mean, this guy has done pretty much everything right for the company.
They love him.
He's been on the Sphere card. He's been on UFC 300. He's going to be on this one. He's been on all
because he says yes to every fight.
Yeah. And he's exciting. Favorite. Yeah.
Bo Nickel's a guy that was going to be on this card, right? I think that Colby Covington would have made more sense, but apparently Colby said no. That's what Bo's saying. So they got Kyle Dawkins. Guess what? Kyle Dawkins was left for dead a couple years ago. Yeah. This guy grinded his way back to the UFC. He's looked amazing. Marcelo, he's looked amazing. And guess what? I think he can win this fight.
I don't understand why people are talking shit about Kyle Dawkins, man. I mean,
they're like, oh, you got Kyle Dawkins. Like, oh, I can't wait to watch this guy for Kyle. Like mockingly. You don't know the sport because the guy's good. He's fucking good, guys. He's actually a good fighter. Yeah, and he can win this fight. He can win this fight.
When I saw that matchup, I was like, listen, Nickel will probably be the favorite, but Kyle Dawkins can win this fight, dude. I mean, if we seen Bo Nickel fought, you know, and Bo Nickel was listen, I know a lot of people don't like Bo Nickel, you know, I understand, but gotta give the guy credit. He's pretty good for how long he's been in MMA, you know. And I think Carl Dawkins can give him a good fight. So, yeah.
Like I said, the one mismatch I think is the Houthi and Chandler, because I think Chandler's completely washed at this
That's
point.
what people are actually hyped about, because Rufi is on the card, but that's not a fun fight in my opinion. Because
It's a showcase fight. It really is a showcase, I would say.
Unless Chandler's going to go heavy grappling,
Maybe. Imagine Chandler does submit him like BSD did or something. That'd be crazy. I think Zahabi can be competitive. He's plus like 400 right now or something. Like, I think the odds are a little off in that one. I have to think about these fights where I just saw them last night. But like Gone in Pereira, yeah. I mean, like, would it be better if you had Pereira versus Tom? Yeah, but Tom's eyes fucked. Is John Jones and Pereira really that much of a better fight? I mean, yeah, but John has injury issues, and John is not reliable, dude. I mean, John's not reliable, guys. He's not. How many times has he pulled out of fights, Marcel, with like drug or like PED issues? Right? Like it's happened many times. Like he's the greatest of all time, but he's had issues, guys.
I've been like when John Jones was in the line. I've been a massive John Jones dick rider. I thought it's amazing.
Same.
But at the last couple of years, it's like these guys. It really annoys me, and definitely from the John Jones and the Conor McGregor. You guys are always been fan favorites. People love you, but you're so egomaniacs online, man. It's like they listen. If somebody else does something great, they're gonna tweet about themselves. It's so weird. It's like, do you really need like the how do you say that, all the attention all the time? You know what I mean?
Because I'm just looking at this card again. It's like I really like this card, guys. Like, okay, so Gaethje, I mean, he's probably gonna lose, right? But he's still one of the most exciting guys to ever step in the octagon, right?
Yeah,
like he's
I agree.
Top 3 of all time. And Topuria is one of the most exciting guys, one of the most powerful. So you have Topuria, who's arguably the best fighter in the world. Arguably. Probably Islam, but Topuria's right there. Gaethje, who's one of the most exciting guys of all time. Pereira, who's one of the best fighters of all time. Gone, who's a great heavyweight fighter. O'Malley, who's one of the best bantamweights of all time. Eamon Zahabi on a win streak. Chandler, a guy who's always... Listen, Chandler, win or lose, is always in a fight of the night. Win or lose. Kofi's one of the most talented strikers. Bo Nickel, who's... the Olympic accolades, huge name. He was going to be in this card regardless. Dawkins, this one, it looks weird, but again, for fans of the sport, like that know the sport, it's a fun fight. And then again, the best fight in the card, dude. When I saw Steve Garcia and Diego Lopez, I was like, holy fucking shit! Like, because Marcel, I really think this fight's going to be amazing.
I think so too. Yeah.
So I think I said last night the card's 9 out of 10. I stand by it.
Yeah, I also think it's a good card. I really didn't understand like where there was so much backlash online.
Shocking.
I didn't really felt to reply to it. I was like, whatever, But
it's a lack of star power, right? I would say, but at the same time, Topuria and Pereira are 2 like the 5 biggest stars. So, like, did you need every big star? Like, and again, John hasn't fought in a while. Conor hasn't fought in 4 years. Ronda hasn't fought in 10 years. And again, she's kind of irrelevant, right?
I don't want to see Ronda back in the UFC. I was happy she was gone. So
I don't like her, and I like Gina, but I don't like
Ronda. Me too.
That fight's better for MVP, So, anyways, that's my thoughts on it. I mean, like, again, I know some people are going to disagree with us, and that's fair, because you're allowed to have your opinion, right? So, but again, I just asked, like, what else did you want? Seriously, what does he want? So, like, I ask the question: if this was the same card, and then you had Conor versus Nate Diaz as the main event, would that makes it a better card? Like, I don't. That's the thing I don't get. Right?
A casual fan would be, but not for me.
I don't mind if they do Conor versus Nate. I don't mind that fight. Like, I don't mind it. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, man. Davies says what the card missing was a wow. There wasn't a shocker. I just think they made good fights.
I feel like a lot of people's hope for the card were way too high, I mean, because the UFC and also Trump said it's like 6 title fights. We all knew it was.
I never said that.
Yeah, I think when Trump said 6 title fights, to be really honest, I don't really think that Trump really knows that's not possible, and that Dana probably told him, like, we got to put like 6, 7 fights on this card, and they're all going to be title fight worthy or something,
I think you could have put one more title fight, though. I think you could have.
That was possible, but I mean, the card is good as it is. But the only thing that I have, maybe to the Chandler Rufi is not great. And I know you don't like what I'm going to say, but I think they should have made O'Malley against Santiago. But I don't mind the Zahabi one. I don't mind it at all.
I just think Eamon deserves it more. I think Corey hasn't looked good, and I think that this is a number contender fight, right? I would think, right? This fight.
Another Sean wins.
Well, what do you mean? If it's number 1 contender fight,
do you want to see Sean again?
against Jan in the rematch. Yeah, I think it's a fun fight.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right.
I actually thought they were going to give Sean the title fight, so I think this is better.
You're right.
They're making him work for it. You thought the same thing.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I know I'm right. Thank you. But I'm assuming. I'm assuming they're going to do Piotr Jan versus Merab 3 in New Jersey. Is that fair assumption?
I have no idea if that's true, but I mean that.
What else? Okay, what else could that be for that card? We should talk about that really quick.
Week, you know, they also can do Islam against Gary in New Jersey. You know,
they could. Yeah. That there's a big like.
The thing was, I thought originally they want to go do Pereira against Gane in New Jersey.
That's what I thought the plan was. Yeah.
So that's why I made the fucking mistake last night, and nobody fucking told me. You know, I put on Twitter the fights, and actually had the old concept on my Twitter where I had Pereira against Gane for Newark, and I posted that instead of the White House. And nobody fucking told me, man. I saw it 2 hours later. I was like, fuck, I posted the wrong one, and then I deleted it. You know, so
that's funny. Yeah, I mean, anyways, it's a good card, but we'll see what they do for 328. I think it's a little odd they haven't announced it yet. But and here's the other thing. I'm going to say this really quick. This card's 3 months away. Someone's probably going to get injured, and some of these fights are going to change. Like, I would think that's going to happen, right?
I think everybody's going to trade it to surround rep. You know what I mean?
I don't even know if they're going to start training yet. They might wait a bit because it's March 8th and this card's in June 14th. So they have 13, 14 weeks now, so it's a while away. Anyways, I see some of you guys kind of clowning on Eamon in the chat. I think Eamon's a good fighter. He's won 6 straight fights. Like, he's not a bum, guys. He's a good fighter. He had an amazing fight with Jose Aldo in Montreal. It was incredible.
The problem is with Eamon. I like Eamon a lot. I think he's a good dude as well, you know. But Eamon is not really fun to watch overall, you know. And
the fight with Aldo was really good. Trust me.
Yeah, but that's why people are screwing here with Eamon, not liking him. And a lot of people think he lost to Vera. I don't think he lost to Vera, but a lot of people think that. A lot of people think he lost to Aldo. I think he won that.
Lost to Aldo, hated him for a while too, right?
Yeah.
I think when you lose to Aldo, who's like a legend, people hate you for some reason. But Volkanovski had, I was in Brazil for Volkanovski's fight with Aldo. That was horrible. He just pushed him against the fence for 50 minutes, you know. So at least the fight with Zahabi and Aldo was fun to watch. The Corey and Sean, I don't know why they didn't. I mean, I guess they think Corey could take Sean down, and they just didn't want to risk it because Zahabi's not going to take him down. He's going to stand and trade with him, right? And it won't be an easy fight. I mean, Zahabi's going to have to. He's going to have to out technique a faster, younger guy, which is going to be hard to do. And Sean has more power. So look, yeah, it makes sense. Sean's the favorite. Anyways, I think we've talked about enough of the card. I like the card. I personally like it. I think it's funny that we had a horrible card last night. People were dogging on this card when the card last night was horrible. You know, Marcel?
Yeah.
It didn't look good on paper last night, the card. It didn't never look good on paper. This card looked good on paper. And you know what? I almost wonder, is the test run for the future if they're just going to do 6 great fights instead of 12 fights that are mid, you know? You prefer that, wouldn't you? 6 like great fights.
You know, it's always a discussion I have with you, and I know you do it a little bit.
I troll you a bit too with the 15, 16 fights. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, Adam is always like, "Let's go! Now we have 15 fights. Now we have 7." I know he does it with
for the Australia card. They had 16. I was like, "Let's fucking go!"
Yeah. And for me, it's like I always say, like 10 max would be great, in my opinion, you know? And it's because I think there's a lot of slop on the cards here and there as well, you know? And that's we're going back to what we said earlier in the podcast. We want to see quality fights, you know?
Yeah.
And overall, the UFC has a lot of quantity on the roster, and quality is like maybe there are a lot of fighters who have quality as well, you know? But if you got like 15, 16 fights, you know already that like probably 40 or 50% of the card is quantity, you know what I mean? So that's I want to go back to the older Pride days, you know, where and the thing is, like with all these degenerate bettors, you know, they don't give a shit if a fight is shitty. If they pick the winner and they get money with it, they think it's a great fight, you know. But I watch it from a sportive perspective, not from a money or from a betting perspective, you know. So in my opinion, I like, and it's pretty funny because I'm also here in the betting podcast at the same time. But in my opinion, But in my opinion, as a fan, I would love to see like a 10-fight card or even an 8-fight card if the fights are high quality. You know what I mean? That we next week we're still talking about this card. You know, about this last night's card. We won't talk about that next week because we want to forget that as soon as possible. So you know what I mean? So I understand that people want to see more fights, but more fights doesn't always make it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like looking at last night's card, I mean, like a lot of the guys, they're not really like UFC level. You know?
Yeah.
You can't say about these guys. I actually looked at like everyone's ranked except for who's Nickel and Dawkins, I think, are the only unranked guys, right?
Yeah, Nickel and Dawkins, I think. Yeah.
I think Pereira's not ranked. Is he ranked still light heavyweight?
No,
Or no?
yeah, he's still champion. He's champion until Oberg.
Oh,
and
until
Yuri
the bell
Horner.
rings. Yeah. Okay, or until Yuri and Alberg. Yeah, for sure. Anyways, I think we've talked enough about it. All right, I think we're good for this. We're
Longer
gonna do
podcast than normally.
we still have, sorry.
Longer podcast than normally.
Well, only went 4 minutes over actually, so it wasn't that
fine.
bad. But we're gonna do UFC Vegas 4-14. So give me a minute, guys. I want to tweet it out. We'll get going here, and we'll break down all. I think it's 14 fights. Marcel's gonna love it. 14 fights. Let's go. Give us about 2 minutes, guys.